So client administration part. In the client administration, we are discussing about the client copies, right? So client copies we are discussing. As part of this one, we have the three types of client copies. One is the local client copy, remote client copy, and client export and import method. Client export and import method here. So local client copy using the SCCL is the transaction code to copy the data from one client to another client using the SCCL transaction code. L means local. Okay. So all the client related transaction code starts with the SCC. Okay. SCC start. L means local client copy here. Locally transferring the data from one client to another client. Local means within the city or within the system. So within the city, from suppose like one place to another place. So we can transfer it, right? So that is called the local transfer, domestic transfer, right? So then remote client copy. Remote means between two systems, suppose you have the one system is here, you have the one more system is here, you have the client is here, you have the one more client is here. So between two systems, to transfer the data from one to another is called the remote client copy. Remotely, you are transferring the data here. Remotely, you are transferring the data from one system to another system here, right? So, which means remotely, you are transferring the data from one system to another system here. But within the system, that is called the local. This is called the remote. Remote means so one system is in the Hyderabad, one system is in the maybe different city or different country. Then you can transfer the data, right? So, but here for the remote client copy, we use the transaction code is called the SCC9 is the transaction code. Okay, R9 remote 9. So which means so remote R9 SCC9 is the transaction code to do the this remote client copy here. Remotely perform the client copy, sir. But remotely, how can we perform? Right? Remotely, how can we perform here? So the first of all, here there is a prerequisite for the connecting between two systems. There is a RFC connection. We have to establish it here. From this system to this system, there is a RFC connection. RFC connection, remote connection. We have to establish it here. Which means so for the remote local, you don't need anything, right? Local means you don't need to any connectivities. But the remote systems, you need a connectivity. Suppose like if you want to transfer something from Hyderabad to Bangalore, so then you need a connectivity, either road connectivity or air connectivity or so water connectivity, whatever it may be. There is some connectivity is required to enter into the target system, right? Target client, target system, and target system connectivity is required between two systems here. So this connection part will be created using the SM59 transaction code, means RFC administration part, which means SM59 is the transaction code. There we will create the connectivity between systems, either SAP to SAP, SAP to non-SAP, SAP to HTTP. So there the types of connections are there here. There the connection types are here, right? So there is a ABAP connection, then SAP to SAP here. There is a HTTP connection. So right, HTTP connection means site connection here. There is a TCP IP connection. There is a TCP IP connection means the program ID connections and everything here, right? So there is a internal connections, internal connection connectivity between the application servers. We have the connection here. So these connections we have to create within the SAP system. So from one system to another system, you have to establish the connectivity here, which means so you want to transfer the data from here to here, right? then you need to create a RFC destination in this system here, right? In this system, you need to establish the data here, right? So here you have to log into the system here. Suppose example, you need to log into the system. So then go to the SM59 is the transaction code for creation of the RFC destinations here. For the RFC destinations creation, we need to use the SM59 transaction code here. SM59 transaction code here. Above connections, right? Internal connections, TCP, there the connection types are there here. So then click on the create the connection here. Just click on the create the connection in the connection fault here, RFC destination. RFC destinations means which you are connecting to the target here. So like suppose from you are in the N1H, you want to connect to the NW1 client, NW1, right? So then you need to know the NW1 host name and instance number here, right? So you are connecting to the NW1. So NW1 CL and name, any name you can give it, RFC destination name, any name you can give it. Suppose like NW1, I am connecting here. So NW1 also ABAP system, right? Connection to ABAP system, connection to the same database, connection to the R2 connection, TCP IP connection, programs, connections to the HTTP servers, HTTP, any connection. But target also ABAP, right? Then you can connect to the, so three, then provide the destination, right? And then enter. Then here you need to provide the details of the target here. You need to provide the details of the target host. Target host is KP online 1, right? Target is the KP online 1 and instance number is the 0000. Then you can, so what is the password? Here two things you need to maintain here. So two things you need to maintain. One is the target settings here, target details like NW1. Target details you have to maintain here, right? Host name and logon security. Logon security means user ID and password. User ID and password here. So which data you want to pick up? Which client data or which client you want to connect? Like 001. What is the user? Suppose like basis user. So then password, you can enter it, save it, then execute the connection test here. So here connection test, when you execute it, so it got failure, the connection error, which means this N1H unable to connect to the N1H unable to connect to the your target host due to the network host name is not reachable. So in that case, so why? Because this is in the Linux and that is in the Windows. That this is in the Linux and that is in the Windows. So here in the Linux, in the VTC host file, in the network side, we have to maintain the details. We have to maintain the details like KPS. So now, what are the this type of connection issues you may get it out here. This type of connection issues you may get it out. So now we need to maintain the KP online 1, the details 118, IP details KP online 1. Okay. So here now you see the connection test here. Now it is failed, right? So now use the connection test here. So KP online 1. Okay. Wait for some time. Go back. Okay, you created the connection here N1, sorry, NW1. Okay, NW1 connection test you created here. N1W1 connection test you created here. So instead of that, let me maintain the IP. IP also we can maintain here. is working. You can see. So to test the connection test from the one server to another server, then we can use the, so you can use the, one minute. Hello, Andy. Yeah. So this type of connection issue sometimes we may get it out here. Why? Because we are connecting from Linux to, so why? Because our N1H is installed on the Linux and your KP Online 1 Windows, this is installed on the Windows level. So sometimes we may face the connection issues here. So if you see here, if you see here, so NW1 and ECD, the connection will work. Why? Because both are in the same host and same network, so it will work here, right? Click on the create, then ECD system you are connecting, right? ECD system you are connecting, ECD system 100 client. So then ECD system, then target host name is the KP online 1. So then instance number is the 02. Then click on the save button. It's not mandatory logon security. If you want to maintain user ID password, we can maintain. Click on the connection test. Now it is success. See here, now it got success here. Connection test got success here. Right? So that is the one. So here you can maintain the user ID and password also you can maintain. Which system you are connecting? ECD 100 client. Then what is the user? Basis user, common user we are connecting. Right? So then the password you can enter it here. Then click on the save button. Right? So connection test done. Then authorization test. Then there is a test is called the test authorization, which means connection is okay, but what about the authorization? Are you the valid person to enter into the city? Then you have to maintain the respective target system related user ID and password you have to maintain. Then only via this RFC destination the data will flow. Via road transport, via road, how we can transfer, how we can enter into the other city, same as like here via RFC destination. So RFC destinations means remote function call. Remotely, we can transfer the data from one system to another system, either from to here or here to here. To transfer the data, first you need to create. Suppose if you want to transfer the data to the in this system, then create the RFC destinations here. Target host name is this one. Suppose you want to transfer the destinations to the here, then again you need to create the connection from here to here. Then this system details we have to maintain here. This system details we have to maintain here. That's called the RFC administration part. Remote. RFC means remote, like remote function call. RFC means remote function call. Remote function call. Remotely we can call the function, that is called the remote function call. So to connect it to the target other systems, to connect to the other systems, we have to use the this remote function call here. RFC destination details we have to enter it here, right? Then only we can transfer the data. So now you see the connection issues here. Connection issue, we got the connection issue here, right? Even though you enter the IP address and we got the connection details and everything here. So why? Because this host name is unknown. This host name is unknown. So like that we are getting the error here, N1H, right? N1H you are getting the details. Even though we have maintained actually, even though I have maintained the details in the etc host file in the Linux 118, then KP online 1. This is the 104. So even though we maintained, we got the details, we got the error 118. See here, IP address is coming. So then what is the NW1? 00 only. So 00 only. So we maintain the details, click on the OK. connection test, it is failing. KP online one is failing. So what I can do, will create the new connection here sometimes. So NW1 NW1 0001. Or because this is a client specific, you have to maintain for the each and every client. If you want to transfer the data, you have to maintain. Otherwise, you don't maintain the client number here, right? So KP online one, or you can maintain the IP here. So instance number 00. So log on security. So if you want to connect only one client, then you have to maintain the single client here. So then otherwise you can maintain the single user ID client. Whatever the client you maintain, this will be dedicatedly connect to the that client only. That will be dedicated to connect to the that client only here. So that is the reason. So we have to use this one. We have to use this one here. So now, so it's unable to connect it, right? So it's unable to connect it here. So what I can do here, I can maintain the same in the other system side also here. Other system side also, I will maintain the same in the others as well. So there is a KP online host is there. So from and to both the side, we have to maintain the details. Let's see. This is the remote connection, remotely to connect to the other systems to transfer the data. Suppose from your mobile to my mobile to transfer the data, what is required? Bluetooth connectivity is required. Through via Bluetooth connectivity, so we can transfer the data, right? Similarly, here also via 32 drivers etc host file. Okay, here we need to maintain the KPS or HANA 118, I think. This is the KPS2 and flow. Both the side I am maintaining the details here. So this is the 104. See, this is the 104. But here 108 maintained 104 PS4 HANA. Okay, this we maintained now. And 1H. Yes, see here now connection test is fine, right? So NW1 and 1H, the connection tests are fine here. See, so now after maintaining the reverse side IP address through KP online 1, so KP online 1, the connection test is success here. See, success. So success, right? So which means previously we got the error. Both the side we have to maintain. Now NW1001 client data. So I want to transfer via this RFC destination to this user here, right? I need to pull the data, right? So this one I created, connection I created here, connection I created the connection here. So connection test is success now. Connection test is success now. So which means we can establish the connectivity. We have established the connectivity from, so this NW1, this is the N1H2 NW1 NW1001 client dedicatedly you have assigned here. Why? Because in the RFC destination you have maintained the, so 001 only. So you have transfer, you can, so you have maintained the data. So that is fine now here, right? So now remote connection, you can connect to the from one system to another system, you can connect it. So is it only for the above to above internal connection, internally within the application servers also, via this RFC connection, the data transfer will happen. Then TCP IP connection, program IDs, programs. Sometimes we may have to connect to the other systems either PA systems or PO systems or portal systems via TCP connections. Similarly, you need to select it, click on the create button. Same, you need to provide the host name, description, and programs, and those things we have to create it here. Right? Sometimes HTTP connections here. HTTP connections means HTTP connections here. So that is called the HTTP. So HTTP connection here. So means HTTP connections to the foreground ID. Suppose HTTP sites. Suppose I want to connect to the Google connections. Then some other third party sites here. Third party sites or third party connections. So we have to connect it here, right? So then Google connection. I want to connect to the Google here. So then Google details like www dot so google.com. Suppose you want to send the data to the Google here. So then Google service numbers HTTP service number is 80 HTTPS 443 here. Then save it, right? So then click on the connection test here. Then you will get the connection test successful results. You will get it out here, right? So you will get the connection test successful results here, right? HTTP colon slash slash google.com. So this is the HTTP connection here, right? So HTTP connections here. So this type of connections we can do that one here. So actually, if we maintain the real host names, okay, this one, these details we have to maintain here. Let's maintain the HTTP. HTTPS again certificate is required. So all the things are required here. So this one we have to create it here. So like this, we have to maintain the details. Like this, we have to maintain the details in the systems here. So the port, the service number, and the site details. So everything we can maintain it here. Everything if you maintain it here, then it will connect it here. It will connect it here. This is called the connection to the HTTP sites. So normally we won't transfer. Normally sometimes what happens, so we may have to transfer the data to the Google sites, Google servers, and everything here. That time this connectivity is not only Google, some other third party sites, third party servers, third party sites, that sites require the data from SAP. Then that time we have to create the HTTP connections from above to above, source also above, target also above. Then you need to use the above connections here, right? Internal connections, TCP IP program IDs connection. This is the, so some above drivers, it will use the connections here. Most of the time, so it's a above connections and it HTTP connections. Normally, rare cases we will use it here in our systems here. Above connections, then HTTP connections we will use it here, right? So this is the connection types here, connection types. So now to transfer the data to the, so one system to other system, you need the above connection. You have to create in SM59. You need to above connection here. Sir, why we have to transfer the data? So there is a situation to transfer from the remote client copy. Remote client copy means you need to have the two systems here. One is the NW1 and so N1H, two systems are required. Then you need to establish the RFC connectivity, then perform the remote client copy using the SCC9 transaction code. Suppose there is a N1H, right? Then what I'm going to do now, so just to log into the SCC9. So then here what we can do, so what is the, which client you want to transfer the data here? Which client you want to transfer the data here? N1H, you logged in as a 001 client, 001 client. Then what you can do, select profile, which data, which client data you require from the target. So users, right? Then what is the destination? Here, via destination, you can transfer the data here. So which means, so source is the NW1001 client, your target is the N1H001 client, then you can just start the client copy job here. Now This is in the client copy. Background job is scheduled. It is in the SCC3. You can observe it here. So now it will transfer the data here. See, using the remote client copy, it is transferring the data here from N1 end of NW1. Now NW1 to data is transferring to the N1H here. NW1 to data is getting transferred to the N1H here. You can see the remote connection, one remote connection from the, this is the remote RFC connection, which is entered here, which is entered to the your NW1 system here, your NW1 system, which is entered, the remote connection got entered here, right? Which is entered from the remote connections here. You can see the connection KPS4 on there is a connection got established here, right? It got established. So which one? NW1 system. Why? Because it is transferring the data. It is transferring the data here. It is done. It is done here. So here, I here let's check the what are the users are created. Why? Because only I transferred the user data. So there are the seven entries. Seven entries got created here. Seven entries got created in the system here, right? So same, whatever entries are there, user entries are there, NW1001, NW1001, then NW1001. Why there are no users here? Okay, groups I selected. So NW1001, they have all the users are stored, all the users are generated here except DDAC. DDAC it won't copy. When you from the SAP underscore all that time, so SAP DDAC will copy. So then remaining all the users, whatever the users we have, all the users are copied here as well. All the users are copied here as well. Here copied, right? Data got copied here. So that is the so transferring the data. Any data, so data is located in the form of the profile, client copy profile here, right? So which profile, which data you want to transfer. So that is there here, profiles. So sometimes you may have to transfer the only users. So sometimes customization, then you need to select the sometimes all the data, then this will take time. So all the data of the source you want to transfer to the target, then you can use the client copy, all the data here, right? Only application data, only customization data, so only profiles, only rows, whatever you want, you can transfer the all the data here. You can transfer the all the data, you can transfer it here using this concept, right? Remote client copy. Remotely, you can transfer the data from one system to another system is called the so remote client copy. So then how do you do the connectivity means you can do the from establish the from the SM59 transaction code. Using the SM59, you can transfer the data here, right? Using the SM59, you can transfer the data here. So now you want to connect to the N1H. Now you are in the NW1. So then establish the connectivity here. So right, so N1H. Then transfer the data to the N1H. So then N1H, then so target host name KP HANA is the N1H details. What is the instance number of the N1H here? So N1H01. So 01. Then click on the save button. Then do the connection test. So it is got success, right? It is got success here. So technical details are mandatory here. Then logon security means user ID password to maintain. If any data transfer you want to perform, the time this is important. So only connectivity testing, then you no need to maintain here. If any data transfer you want to perform from source to target, so there is a user should be required in the RFC destination too. So here your target user details you have to maintain. Why? Because you are connecting to the N1H. Then there is a valid user in the N1H. These details we have to maintain. Then only we can connect to the target system here. We can connect to the target system. Sometimes if you are in the NW1, just if you use the remote login, you may log into the N1H as well. From source to target, you may log into the N1H also, right? From NW1 to N1H, you can log in also here, right? So this is the RFC connection. To transfer the remote data, definitely between two systems, the connectivity is required. Suppose example, in your mobile phone, you have the mobile phone, your friend has the mobile phone here. Both the mobile phone, there is a data. You want to transfer from your mobile to your friend data, your friend mobile. So what you do, first of all, you will establish the Bluetooth connectivity. Means connectivity you have to establish. Then you can, once the pairing is done, then you can transfer the data to the your friend mobile, documents or whatever movie or everything you can done. So without connection, it's not possible. Then this connection where to create SM59 connection, SM59 RFC destination. There we have to create the connectivity between the two systems here. There we have to create the connection part here. Right. So here also there is a background job will be started. There is a background job in SM15. There is a background job in the SCC3. We can see the logs whether the remote client copy is completed. Remote means remote client copy is completed. Then so you can also go to the SM37. You can see the background job details and everything here. Yes, remote client copy is completed here via RFC destination, right? So like this, we can check the connection part, transferring part, those details we can check it out here, right? Those details we can perform the connectivities and everything we can perform it here, right? This is the way we can transfer the data. This is the way we transfer the data to one to another system via RFC destination. RFC destination means to transfer via this RFC destination, data transfer will happen to the source to target. Via this RFC destination, the data via packets in the form of packets, it will transfer to the remote system here, right? But connectivity is very important. Without connectivity, we cannot transfer the any data here. Okay, this is very important here. Okay, local means within the system, you don't need any connectivity. Automatically, there is an internal connectivity. It will take care of that part. But remote connectivity, there is an additional step that is called the remote connection should be established. Then you can transfer the data here. That is what we have to do it here.
Ravinder, you are saying that user and password we need to mention, right, in the
Yes.
RFC connection. So that user is any user which is there in that particular
Target.
client.
Target client, what is there in the any valid user, you have to maintain.
Okay, okay,
To transfer the data, to enter into
okay,
the your remote system, to enter into the Hyderabad your friend room. So definitely you should have the valid user ID and password, right? To enter into the, suppose like Hyderabad to Bangalore you are transferring. So Bangalore you entered city outskirts. Then to place the some data inside of your friend home, you should have the valid authorizations, and valid means valid user is required.
okay. And SAP star user also fine.
SAP star user is there, then you can maintain the SAP star also. Why? Because for the newly created systems, we don't have any users. That time, yeah, SAP star also we can maintain. Any user means SAP star DSC also will come.
Okay, okay.
So using the SCC9, we can transfer it. SCC3, check the logs. Then, so SCCL, local client copy. So just today, practice the remote client copies and the RFC connections, creations and everything. So tomorrow, I will explain the client export and import methods, how to perform the client exports and import methods. I will perform it. Okay.
Sir, these RFC connections will be doing only in implementation projects or even
Normal
support?
support projects also, sometimes we may have to create the RFC destinations. So definitely it's the ongoing process from starting to ending. So either implementation or migration projects or support projects, we have to create the RFC destinations if any requirements.
Okay, okay.
Okay, that's it guys for today. So once again, wishing a very happy new year. So we'll talk tomorrow then. Thank you guys.
Yes.